Closed captioning for The Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today, when it's the third Saturday of the month, it's the day of caring for the United Way. I also prepare savory tuna pasta. It's fabulous. But first, tens of thousands of comics and more at Dawson's Geek in Hermitage. Well, a lot of times I get recommendations on places to go. And Dawson's Geek Comics was one of the recommendations. And Cliff Dawson of Dawson's Geek. You've got to educate me here. You know, growing up, I got Archie. You know, I was an Archie girl, and I was Mad Magazine. But I was not into any of the comics. But obviously, I missed a whole...
You miss Superman, Batman, right. all the biggies, the movies, the TV shows. I started with like the Ninja Turtles,
right,
and just kind of like was hooked, and that kind of inspired like a fandom, doing artwork, trying to emulate those artists that were in those comic books that I love so much, and the stories that I love so much.
I mean, obviously, I have missed out on this whole slice of life because your selection is off the
If they find that obscure book that they've been looking for, or just like, hey, I didn't know that Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a comic book. Wow, I've got to put this in the collection. Just kind of like, I got to see what this is about. I love seeing customers that come in and ask about an obscure book or something, and then I actually know that it's here, and just like, hey, let's go look here, and I pull it out and just see them light up of like, I've been looking for this, and that to me is the joy of doing what I do.
How do you keep track of your inventory? I mean, how would you even know? There is so much here.
It's a lot of poke and hope and trying to remember, like seeing like a cool cover or a title that like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And it just kind of gets filed away in the back of the brain, and then somebody's asking about like, hey, do you have that book that you didn't know was a thing? Yes. Hold on a second, we'll go look for it. A year ago or whatever, when I actually got the gumption to, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
I talked it over with my wife and be like, hey,
we can do this.
I've done the job that I've done for 30 years.
What field were you in?
I was in trucking.
Okay.
Upper management of trucking, dispatch, and I was like, I need a change. I need to, follow my dreams, and worked up a business plan, worked up a business model kind of thing. Because as I was in the trucking industry, I would do Comic Cons as an artist.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed and loved the interactions that I had with people at those Comic Cons, and wanted to make that my full-time gig, I guess is the way to say that.
Right, you knew what people wanted, what they were looking for, so you were able to
kind of had a
finger
on the pulse, I guess the way to say it.
Okay.
Of like, okay, this is neat, and I've seen other people that were succeeding in it that I had met through Comic Cons. It was just, hey, I'm going to try it. I'm going to follow my dream. I've always wanted to do this. I really like the people. I like the interactions.
And in our region, what do you think? Maybe 3 or 4 places between Western Pennsylvania and East, Northeast Ohio?
There's roughly about 4 in this general vicinity, but there's many more, as that circle grows.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's a kind of a small fraternity locally.
Locally, yeah. There's 2 shops that are right handy here in Pennsylvania. There's several over there in the Warren area.
Does every comic book have the potential to become collectible? Or are there some that are just like, Pulp Fiction? They're just putting them out to fill a void.
And that's the thing, if they overprint, it's gonna nosedive.
What do you think the average amount is that they print from a new Superman coming out? Like, what do you think it is?
That's an excellent question that I have
Thank you.
I have no clue the answer to.
Cliff, you better get on that. I want to know.
Yeah,
the public wants to know.
Yeah, I'm going to have to Google that. I do not.
You know, like they used to put albums out. It'd be like a 10,000 run. And then if it went platinum, of course, they'd keep making it.
Yeah,
but you just wonder what the initial thing is.
I don't know the initial runs. I mean, they'll do special books to where there's...
Then you'll know they're numbered and collectible and things like that.
Yeah, that they'll keep them down to a 1,000 run or 1,200 run, and then you know instantly that if it's a decent book, if it's a key story, that it's going to be worth more down the road. So it's one of those things. I don't know what the average. That's
Okay.
You got me
I asked a
now.
good question. There you go.
Yeah,
once a year, I come up with a good one.
Well,
this is really a personalized service you provide because you really know your people. And you're like, oh my gosh, Gino is going to love this horror thing because he's into the horror genre.
Yes.
And then, so you really do know. I mean, your clients, you're like a doctor. Prescribe the right medicine for your...
I guess
Dr. Cliff.
Yeah.
Of Dawson's Geek.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, here's your paper medicine. That's the way it is gonna...
Thank you. May I have another?
And some of those customers...
And you can get addicted.
Yeah, you can't get addicted because then it's just like, okay, I have to finish this story. And, I'm missing issue 2. I need to find this. And that's where I think a lot of collecting comes in.
Right.
I'm missing this one issue. I don't know how this is going to end up, or I know how it ended up, but how did we get to there? So they're looking for that issue that's going to fill in that blank.
I can't believe all the books. Room after room after room, file box after file box, A to Z, A to D. You got to see this. You'll see all these things. It's amazing the inventory you have.
Well, and I owe a lot of that to my family and my friends that are family that helped me set up the store.
They really
in the
you
in
couldn't
the process.
have done this yourself.
Yeah, it was just we had a lot of great, wonderful people that came through and helped organize and get everything together. It's just I have a great family. I guess is the way to say that. There's a special place in heaven for my wife for letting me go on this endeavor, but that's the...
Does she like comic books?
She
better start kind of like
She does not really like comic books. This is kind of all obscure to her, but she knows it's such a big part of my life, and thankfully I married the right woman that she supports that she's like, okay, I don't understand it, but I'm going to support this. And she's my rock. She keeps me focused on the goal.
So that's a good woman. You better watch her. She's going to get a hobby that you're really not going to understand. And it's going to be a little tit for tat there.
Yeah.
She's going to say, Cliff, I don't know what she's going to start doing, but it might be something.
Well, she's big into CrossFit and biking, and I have no desire to do any of that. So
mountain
that's
hiking.
her thing. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I wish I was into something like that.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
We are getting close. Scaba Camp is almost here. A year-round destination for adults with disabilities and their families to get away, close to home. Accessible to all, with no barriers. Donate now to GABA Camp. Help others to enjoy this unique recreational destination. For adults with disabilities and their families to enjoy an accessible camping experience. Donate to GABA Camp. Given is living.
Locally owned, Hurricane Health and Wellness will help you weather the storm of your weight loss struggles. Safe and discreet, our experienced telemed team will prescribe the proper weight loss medication. Powerful weight loss solutions. Hurricane Health and Wellness.
Rulli Brothers has a great choice of quality cheeses. We use our relationship with Old World Houses to specially select the product and then have it custom cut and packaged by our own local artisans. At Rulli Brothers Market, our family is in the store.
And now, the starting lineup for your favorite local jewelers, the Diamond Dunker, Bree Kamara. And he's Rob, the Triple Threat Kamara.
What are you guys doing? we're getting hyped up for Diamond Madness.
All customers will save 50% off all diamonds and jewelry on display.
March 20th through the 23rd. Shop Diamond Madness at Kamara Jewelers.
Get real, get Kamara.
You better come on in my kitchen.
Well, I am going to make savory tuna pasta. And this dish comes together so quickly, you won't believe it. Actually, the sauce will be done before the pasta's done boiling. Use a thin noodle, spaghetti or something like that. But the real magic with this dish is the tuna fish. Go up a little bit. The Genova, this is a yellowfin tuna and it's in olive oil. It goes between $2.50, $3.50 a can, but this is the secret sauce because what you do is drain the tuna. I've already done it. And it comes to about 1/2 cup of olive oil. And you just drain that, and that is what we're gonna use as the olive oil in the pan, and it really adds a great flavor. There's capers, there's anchovies, garlic, red pepper flakes. I mean, this is a really savory pasta and I absolutely love it. So let's go to the stove. We'll drop the pasta and get this sauce going. For this recipe, you'll need 1 pound of spaghetti, 3 to 4 5-ounce cans of tuna in olive oil, drained and reserve the oil, 5 cloves of garlic chopped, 4 anchovy fillets chopped, or 2 teaspoons of anchovy paste, 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes, 2 tablespoons of capers chopped, zest and juice from 2 lemons, and 1/2 cup of chopped fresh parsley. You're not going to believe how quickly this pasta comes together. Right now I've dropped it. I'm going to cook it till al dente because it's going to go directly into the pan. So right now this is about 1/2 cup of the oil that we got from the pans, or the cans rather. And so we've got this and we're going to warm it up a little bit over medium heat. You don't want it to be real hot, but the flavor that this brings to this dish, you're gonna lose your mind. And then of course the chopped anchovies, which I love. I like the anchovies on the pizza. I don't understand why people don't like that. And the chopped garlic. Of course, garlic goes good on everything. And last but not least, the red pepper flakes. Now this does add heat. So if you aren't a heat fan, you can leave that alone. So I'm gonna let this go down to low, and we are just gonna keep stirring it, and we wanna make sure that we don't brown the garlic. We don't mind if it's a little gold, but we really don't want it to turn, because that so quickly can happen. Now you can see we don't have a whole lot of liquid. You know, we've got the oil here, we've got the lemon juice, and when you drain this pasta, before you add it to this dish, make sure you save a cup of the pasta water because that starchy water will help loosen up the pasta sauce if you need to. Always good to do that. And this is when all these flavors are really gonna meld together. And now don't forget to add the capers. Now what we're gonna do is toss this and make sure we get it coated with the oil. And this is when you evaluate to see if you need the pasta water or if it looks slick enough and glossy enough, you know, to spread out over all these noodles. I think it needs a little pasta water. Just a little bit, and I did save some. I would say 1/2 cup, 1/4 cup. And you just add that to the dish and mix it further. So it continues to cook. So that's why you do the noodles al dente. And now comes the flavors. We've got the zest from 2 lemons, the juice from 2 lemons. And remember, we're over medium heat. We add that, and now we add the star of the show, the tuna. Now be careful when you add this, because we're gonna mix it up, and you don't want to break it up too much, but you gotta, distribute it evenly, but you don't want it all shredded. So here we go. Now we are gonna mix this all together. Oh, look at that. Hey, if you really like capers, you can add more. You can adjust the seasonings, and instead of topping, you kind of want this parsley to be cooked in with it. Now, right before we serve it, it's all together, and you just want to check the seasonings. Now, we've got the anchovies in there, we've got the tuna, so there is a lot of salt, sodium. Might need some freshly ground pepper, so let's do that, and then we are going to serve this dish. It is fabulous. Well, when I started messing around with this recipe, I knew you were gonna love it.
Yes.
The anchovies, the capers, the canned tuna.
You find all of those in my swimming pool.
Right, I mean, you can keep these forever. When I was in college, I used to bring like those little cans of smoked oysters and stuff. I like tin food, I think it's pretty good. So let's try this.
Great, yeah.
I think it's got a nice punch.
All right.
I'm anxious to see how you like it.
Plenty of garlic.
Oh, lots of garlic. And you can always add more. Remember, this is a
versatile
very versatile recipe. All right, I'm trying to be a lady with this, but it is hard to eat spaghetti.
I love everything in there.
The lemon, the heat, it's not heavy. I mean, this is a great dish.
It's beautiful.
Yep, I mean, just keep that stuff stocked. I mean, the only thing is the lemons and the parsley.
And also keep your wine stocked. So I have an Italian Merlot.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Usually, you don't drink red with seafood. But
Red with anything.
This dish has so much punch that it is worthy of a red wine. This is good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some more of that.
All right.
Thanks for inviting me.
I know you haven't been on for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so this savory tuna pasta, the recipe will be on my website, KCMaloneShow.com. Get this recipe. You are going to love it. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is the Casey Malone Show.
Locally sourced is good, whether it's ingredients or a bank, and that's why my bank is Farmers National Bank. Since 1887, Farmers has remained rock solid through every economic condition. Having a bank with a history of safety, soundness, and conservative management is a must. It all boils down to this. You need a bank that will help you reach your goals. I do too, and Farmers is mine. Farmers National Bank, rock solid.
I'm Elizabeth Bernard. For more than 30 years, I've provided our Valley with sound legal advice. My associate Jennifer Rigetti and I will be your legal representatives if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Don't try to handle it yourself. We'll navigate the red tape of dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the obstacles that you'll face. Remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases, and hiring a lawyer does not mean you have to go to court.
Call attorney Elizabeth Bernard, local legal experience for more than 30 years.
Well, you all know Roxanne Seabest. She is the Vice President at the United Way. We are here for the Saturday of Caring, and this is once a month.
Correct, yes.
And you get all hands on deck.
It's all hands on deck. It's amazing to see how many people we have out in this freezing cold.
We've got the cars lined up, ready for deliveries, and what exactly happens is you get referrals from all kind of different charitable agencies. And once a month, you deliver all kind of food and supplies.
Correct, yes.
How did you acquire all these lists?
So this all happened back in 2020 in the height of COVID.
Right.
Ed Moransky, whose property we're on right now, came to us and was said, what about those individuals that can't get out or shouldn't get out? You know, we have these great mobile pantries. They were popping up at the fairgrounds. They were popping up in Warren. But what about the people that could not get out of their homes? So we were like, you're right. Let's do something about it. Literally, it was a call on a Saturday, and the next Saturday, we had 100 names from Catholic Charities, Salvation Army, the YMCA, different churches, asking them, do you know of people that can't get out right now? So luckily, Save-A-Lot and the Nemmens family, Kowicki family, they had just called us that week about extra milk they had. So I called them, I said, can we do this? And they were like, we got you. We will do this. So miraculously, within a week, we came together here, 100 families, about 25 volunteers. And we were like, this needs to happen continuously. We just can't feed these people once. So we're about into our 4th year now. And
how many are you servicing today?
Today, 460 families all across Mahoning County. We take a look at who's coming in, what they need. You know, we have some people that can't have white bread, so we get them wheat bread. Some people that are lactose intolerant, so we get them lactose milk. Every month, they get a fresh vegetable, a fresh fruit, chicken, beef, some kind of meat, and then some non-perishables that will last them. But one of the biggest things that we learned from this, it's not just about bringing them the food. These people were lonely. Our drivers, some of our drivers have been doing this for 4 years, 3 to 4 years.
They are so familiar, and so they know these people.
If they miss because they're sick, if they miss because they're on vacation, they want that route back because they've made relationships with these individuals, and they look forward to them coming every month.
And you go all over, down to Sebring, I mean, every corner of this
every
area.
corner of Mahoning County.
Where are you getting all of these different products?
Save-A-Lot and, you know, the Kowicki family and the Nemmens family have worked with us. We've got great donors that are stepping up. We had the ARP money from the county commissioners, realizing that we can hit the entire county, so they trusted us with that money.
So if they want to, they can contact United Way and earmark it for Saturday of Caring.
Yes.
Specifically for this event.
Right, and then we even partnered with the Difference Makers and Father Tim's organization. Segue into that, but that's...
and then that's the most exciting thing.
Yes.
That you are now going to have a place for this to take place.
Right, exactly.
Instead of in a parking lot.
Yes.
How many square feet?
About 12,000 square feet. We'll have warehouse space so we can start packing in the food, the non-perishables, and then we'll have front like office conference space where our volunteers can come and volunteer throughout the year.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be the third Saturday. It'll be all year. We'll have different things going on and different things that we have with our United Way that happens.
I mean, you guys are out there each and every day, man, fighting this battle. And this is unbelievable. And I'm seeing all these little YSU football players.
Oh yeah, YSU football. YSU is great to us. The football team comes out, the basketball team comes out, swimming, diving, softball, women's basketball. It's amazing, the partnership with YSU. We really are lucky to have them as a partner.
Well, go tell a friend. John Leitner is out here. He is also part of the Saturday of Caring. You know, why is this so important for you to volunteer here with the United Way?
You know, hey, it just makes me feel like I'm doing my part, makes me feel special, and there's no other place I'd rather be on a Saturday morning, the third Saturday of every month, than this place right here.
Well, I love that new dealership.
Thank you.
And hey, you are one of our last holdouts. I'm glad we've got a local owner left, right?
I can't ever see me selling. To be honest with you, I just love the car business, and I don't see the point in retiring. If you love what you do, why would you quit?
We need these volunteers. And
oh, absolutely. And it's fantastic to see young people out here, too.
Right. And I'm really glad to see our business leaders and owners here, you know, volunteering.
Thank you.
Well, Anna Marjone is one of the volunteers here, and you really help coordinate, you know, the YSU students. Is that your key role here?
Yes. So I started volunteering with United Way over a year ago, and then this past August, I started working under the title of a community fellow. So I serve as a liaison between the Honors College and United Way. So I help organize YSU students. I post the events that we need volunteers for on a platform page called Penguin Pulse. And then when I have them sign up, I communicate with Roxanne just so she knows how many volunteers to expect and things like that.
You know, what made you want to get involved with the United Way?
I really enjoyed Saturday of Caring. That was the first time I ever worked with United Way. And then I volunteer with their Success After 6. And then it really opened me up. I never realized how many things they do for this community. So I just find out more and more things that they do.
It is so nice to see you and the whole team out here.
Thanks.
You volunteer a lot, don't you?
We do. You know, they've been doing this, and, you know, what these companies do for our program in this community, you got to give back. And we know the January one's going to be cold. And I told our guys in December, we're going to be there in January because, you know, we weren't able to be here in the fall just because of games.
That's right.
To get our boys out. And we got a lot of our new mid-year transfers in, and
Yeah,
what better
so-
way to get acclimated at Youngstown?
Hey, welcome to the show.
Yes, yes, this is part of it.
Right. Well, I'm really glad you guys all are out here. This is really good for the community.
Thanks, Casey. We're glad to serve.
Danielle and Abby have a regular route. You've been helping for how many years?
3 years,
3
pretty
years.
much almost
Yeah, since it started. So it's really nice to be able to talk to these people every month, know what their needs are, check in with them if there's anything else that they need beyond, the food that we're bringing them. Be that relationship outside of their homes, since so many of these people are shut in and not able to go out.
We would say a majority of them are elderly shut-ins. We do have a family. It's a young family that does have a disabled child. And it's just, again, that warm welcoming to see them, being able to, let them know about what's even happening in the outside world. We have one that we actually do Christmas gifts, Easter gifts for, because she just is that thankful for us.
Exactly. Training the next generation as servant leaders. It's so important to give back to your community when you get so much from your community.
Well, Eddie, you have really stepped up when it comes to the United Way.
It's very heartwarming how our wonderful community is taken to this, and all the volunteers that come out to pack the food and drive the food. Casey, it's a testament to the great community we live in. It's taken on a life of its own. Beautiful 80-degree day here at Youngstown.
It really is. It's beautiful.
But you can see it's 10 degrees. We have 200 people here at 8 o'clock in the morning.
They are.
The world is still good, Casey.
I am really looking forward to the new center that's going to be opening up down the street.
Yeah, this really was the catalyst for that, and that we saw so many people and so many parts of the community of teams and YSU that wanted to be part of the volunteerism. This is so organized that 2-3 hours once a month, you come here, you feel good, that it led to a volunteer center. So we're going to train there. We're going to be able to keep food there and clothes there, and be able to do a lot of things for a lot of different charities. So it's exciting.
I love that the pantry is going to be named in our buddy's honor, Father Tim.
Yeah, he was one of my mentors at Cardinal Mooney, and he had one of the great lines that growing up I didn't know what it meant, is that the key to a happy life is being an unselfish giver. And for those of you out there that haven't tried it, you should. And it really changes your insides. And that's what Father O'Neill was all about. So happy to keep his legacy going.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.